Discussion and implications. Our study is the first to systematically compare expressions of aggression and affection and pleasure across 3 subcategories of mainstream online pornographic videos featuring various sexual dyads. We found that visible aggression, see Bridges et al. 2010, was present in no more than 1/4 of the videos in each type of dyad, while portrayals of clearly non-consensual aggression, see McKee 2005, were much less frequent. We also found considerably higher levels of visible and non-consensual aggression and higher levels of pleasure displays in male-male and female-female clips relative to male-female clips. Given pornography's influence in shaping sexual practices and norms, Gurevich et al. 2017, these findings have implications for cultural and interpersonal sexual scripts. They may indicate a potential expansion of the traditional sexual script. Some scholars have argued that pornography is, at its core, violence of men against women, since it sexualizes aggression and portrays women as sexual objects who ostensibly respond favorably to being humiliated by men. Dines 2010, Wisnant and Stark 2004. Our findings challenge these claims. First, female-female clips had the highest amount of verbal aggression, as well as various forms of physical aggression, such as spanking and choking. Second, male-male clips featured the highest amount of both visible and non-consensual aggression. Below we explore possible explanations for these surprising findings and discuss their potential implications. Why is aggression more frequent in same-sex videos? Videos featuring 2 women contained more overall and verbal aggression than videos from the male-female subsample. These findings contradict the expectations laid out by studies that highlight pornography as a site and cause of violence by men against women, and by sexual scripts that frame women's sexuality in terms of receptivity and passivity. More specifically, the relatively high prevalence of aggression in female-female videos challenges the bifurcated understanding of sexuality in the context of pornography, where men's sexuality is regarded largely in terms of domination and exploitation, and women's sexuality in terms of emotionality and egalitarianism. We offer 3 possible explanations for these counterintuitive results. The first potential explanation refers to the role of an assumed heterosexual male viewer. Scholars have suggested that lesbian or girl-on-girl mainstream online pornography capitalizes on the erotic value that heterosexual male viewers attach to lesbianism. Whitley, Childs and Collins 2011, Yost and Thomas 2012. In this view, online mainstream pornography, including the lesbian subgenre, often reflects hetero-male fantasies about female sexuality and sexual performativity. Vincent 2016, Weber 2012. Producers of girl-on-girl videos, which presumably target heterosexual male consumers, may subsequently mirror the scripts found in mainstream heterosexual scenes to appeal to heterosexual males. Morrison and Talick, 2005, Weber 2012. Consequently, female-female clips may be depicting aggression in order to abide by the structural law of asymmetrical power dynamics central to the mainstream heterosexual script. See Young 2017. While these are plausible assumptions, they do not sufficiently account for the substantially higher rate of visible aggression in female-female videos. A second, complementary, explanation for the preponderance of aggression in the lesbian clips builds on the first and refers to the eroticization of female violence, similar to the erotic value of lesbianism in hetero-male fantasies. Weber 2012. The cat fight is a cultural phenomenon resulting from the erotic value attached to female-on-female aggression, both on and off screen. Through its use of sexualized animal metaphor, the catfight narrative reframes women's aggression towards one another as sexy entertainment for men. Rank 2010. It has thus become a staple of North American mainstream pornography. Finally, we would like to suggest another possible explanation that acknowledges potential changes in how both men and women think about the violence of men against women. This kind of violence has become less acceptable as feminist conceptions of patriarchal power relations and the illegitimacy of violence in intimate partner relationships have been gaining social acceptance. at least in affluent societies. These ideas, in turn, may be increasingly permeating the mainstream pornography industry, rendering men's violence toward women during sexual acts a practice of declining legitimacy and popularity. Conversely, aggression between two women may be perceived by many, men and women alike, as less threatening, as it does not contain in it the traditional notions of patriarchal power imbalance and the potential to turn into an abusive relationship outside of the virtual bedroom. Regardless of these explanations, the substantially higher rates of aggression in female-female videos remain unexpected and, once again, challenge the perception that men's violence against women is the defining feature of current mainstream online pornography. More instances of visible and substantially more non-consensual aggression in the male-male videos compared to male-female clips indicate that gendered hierarchies of sexuality are not restricted to heterosexual scripts. Straight acting, gay masculinity, and a rejection of the feminine are also a prominent feature of gay scripts. Kendall and Martino, 2012. This pattern emerges most clearly in videos tagged with phrases such as big dick, with these videos often displaying aggressive behavior on the part of the top, with the presumably larger penis toward the bottom. These findings serve to problematize gay affirmative conceptualizations of male-male pornography, which, perhaps disproportionately, focus on its ability to provide sexual minority men with a validation of their sexual desires, and to encourage safer sex practices. Watney, 1997. The comparative preponderance of aggression in mainstream male-male clips indicates a potential assimilation, if not exaggeration, of gay masculinity into hegemonic masculinity. The confluence of different and same-sex scripts into overarching scripts of desire, e.g. sexualizing butch femme, Randazzo et al. 2015, or top-bottom, Kendall 2004, dichotomies in the same way as sexualizing power differentials between men and women, may partially explain the aggression we found in same-sex clips. Indeed, we found that in all three categories we analyzed, the dominant partner was generally more masculine and more likely to be the aggressor, while the non-dominant partner was more feminine and more likely to experience aggression. Finally, perhaps the aforementioned higher rates of aggression in male-male and female-female videos are connected to the absence of traditional patriarchal power imbalances, leading video creators to frame aggression in more performative terms. Why are there more displays of affection and pleasure in same-sex videos? Affection and pleasure displays in online mainstream pornography are a large component of sexual scripts but have previously been discussed mainly in terms of dominant male sexual pleasure. Van Dorn, 2010. Our findings draw attention to acts of affection, pleasure displays, and displays of climax among non-dominant partners. Most notably, displays of climax among non-dominant partners were performed in a majority of the female-female and male-male clips, compared with a small minority of the male-female clips. The results for female-female videos are in line with recent work on sex between women, suggesting a higher frequency of orgasm when women have sex with women, compared to when they have sex with men. Frederick, John Garcia, and Lloyd, 2018. Willis, Joaski, Lowe, and Sanders, 2018. Affection and pleasure displays may also reflect broader cultural expectations of women's nurturing and soft sexuality. Siegel, 1998. Despite the performative aspect of these pleasure displays, Pornhub's 2017 Year in Review reveals that lesbian was the top term searched by women viewers, who make up 29% of the site's visitors, and lesbian scissoring was the second most commonly searched term. The report also noted that women viewed the lesbian category 197% more than men did in 2017. Our findings about the more frequent portrayal of affection and mutual pleasure in female-female videos may help explain these tendencies. Such content is likely a drawing feature for women, regardless of sexual orientation, as they may find it hard to empathize with and get aroused by male-female videos where affection toward women and women's seemingly authentic pleasure are substantially less prominent. Finally, when looking at the results for male-male clips, the simultaneity of high rates of non-dominant pleasure displays and non-consensual aggression is particularly puzzling. These seemingly contradictory patterns may be partially explained by scripts specific to gay narrative conventions, Escoffier 2003, that include dichotomized active-passive roles, Mercer 2004, Kippax and Smith 2001 argued for the possibility of intimacy and mutual pleasure within fantasies of domination and submission, a sexual reality in which active passivity is also a possibility in male-male sexual interactions. Others have discussed how getting pleasure from giving pleasure and bottom's forbidden pleasure are components of the gay script and of the sexual power dynamics between men. However, scholars such as Kendall 2004 see such discussions as a moot point, since the distinction between top and bottom eroticizes hierarchy and objectifies the bottom. The preponderance of simultaneous aggression alongside affection and pleasure displays in same-sex videos challenges and complicates suppositions that while male-female pornographic sexual scripts sexualize violence, Dines 2010, same-sex scripts are often geared towards sexual empowerment, Royberg 2013. This simultaneity also challenges assumptions about the relationship between gender and power, which are central to theorizing about traditional heterosexual scripts predicated on male dominance and female submission, particularly in the pornography industry. For example, in the female-female clips, the dominant sexual script of women as passive, nurturing, and loving is both threatened and validated by an aggressive female who embodies a masculinized sexuality while desiring to please the non-dominant partner. The presence of affection in these same clips also challenges arguments that aggression is primarily designed to maintain the patriarchal status quo and women's subjugation. Our findings may have significant impacts for some sexual minorities whose pornography use can play a role in fostering a sense of community, Lipton 2012. For instance, to the extent that pornography use is higher among gay men, Adams Thies 2015, it is possible that the scripts in mainstream male-male scenes, like those we analyzed, have a notable impact on male-male's real-life encounters. Similarly, if lesbian communities have a unique relationship to pornography, as Packard and Schraebman 1994 suggested, it is possible that scripts, even in mainstream female-female scripts which may not be explicitly produced for sexual minority women, may impact their own sexual scripts in distinct ways. That is, given the ambiguity surrounding both female actors' pleasure in and intended audiences of mainstream female-female pornography, sexual minority women viewers may experience barriers to decoding sexual scripts relative to heterosexual women. Limitations and future directions. This study had several limitations, which we hope future work in this area can address. While the study did not specifically sample for kink or BDSM videos, a small subset of videos categorized as gay and lesbian were tagged as kink, n=5, and/or fetish, n=19. Previous research has reported some intersections between kink, BDSM, and same-sex pornographies, Cruz 2016, Fritz and Paul 2017, which may complicate the meanings of aggression. Kink pornography often does display aggression, but its underlying premise is to foreground consent and negotiate power and risk through play, Stardust 2014, rather than uphold misogynistic or heteronormative understandings of gender, sexuality, and power. Kink and BDSM often operate according to a politics of perversion, Cruz 2016, which seeks to destabilize normative expressions of sexuality. Such politics challenge the sexual norms governing which forms of consensual sex are permitted or celebrated, and which are banned or decried. More importantly, they challenge dominant understandings of zero-sum power dynamics, Lefranc 2018. Future work could use the politics of perversion as a theoretical lens to compare aggressive content and patterns across subgenres of pornography, with attention to the role of differing sexual scripts for gender and sexual power dynamics. Future qualitative research could also expand on how aggression and affection in pornography are gendered, and the role of pornography in reshaping gendered sexual scripts connecting dominance, aggression, and affection. Such research could examine whether users respond differently to intragender aggression and affection than to intergender aggression and affection, exploring our proposition that the former may be perceived as less threatening or having the potential to develop into intimate partner violence in viewers' lives. Specifically, researchers could examine potential differences in how viewers decode affection and pleasure displays despite aggression, as well as affection and/or pleasure displays because of aggression. Reception studies could also consider the extent to which users actively disorder and deconstruct, Gurevich et al. 2017, imagery combining aggression and affection. Finally, since most of the existent research focuses on male-female and male-male pornography, future studies could systematically compare sexual scripts pertaining to aggression, affection, and pleasure between mainstream pornography featuring sex between two women and lesbian or queer-produced pornography. For instance, researchers could examine how viewers of varying gender and sexual identities decode both aggression and affection in mainstream versus lesbian or queer-produced female-female pornography.